everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the program. So much to talk about. From the issues relating to the 6-year single-term tenure for governors and president that's been shut down, to the politics in Rivers State and the internal politics of the APC. We get to grind most of these issues. They're making the rounds for you. First and foremost, let me allow you to listen to President Bola Tinubu earlier today, where he was making promises about the livestock and agro industry in Nigeria, having partnership with some foreign operators who are coming into the country for investment. The governor of Niger State was with them, and some members of the Ministry of Livestock and the committee, the special committee set up by the president. The president was very frank. I'd like you to listen. It's about 4 minutes long. Take a listen to him.
What we are trying to do is transform a situation of tragedy, hopelessness, into economic opportunity. See through problems and see the opportunity that is involved in it. We've heard so much about you in terms of the reputation, and we believe in the partnership. Yeah, we have taken 4 steps, and for me, daring food security is extremely important. As we talk right now, there is hunger. However, there is huge hope, and you are one of those hopes that we're looking at. Nigeria is a population of over 250 million and growing by 2.5%. So within the next few years, we'll be the 4th largest population economy in Africa and in the world, I would say. There's opportunity in what we are doing. And legacy that you are about to flow with is what we want to do to change the narrative in Nigeria. I have one of the key governors, because by our constitution, the land, the grazing area, the ranches will be situated in area of their state. I think we've hit the nail on the head. We want you, we promise you. Nigeria is ready to do business with you.
Thank you.
That's it. You cannot find a better friend, a more reliable friend, an opportunity, and a good return on investment, better than what we are doing right now. And we are solving a problem that afflicted humanity in that part of Africa. Clash between farmers and migrating cow shoulders and all of that has caused some life and bloodshed. So when there is a modern civilized way to solve those problems and even bring a successful economy out of it. So I extend our partnership.
Yeah.
All right, President Bola Tinubu there speaking about partnership on livestock and agri economy. Now, let's tell you that the Supreme Court today has nullified the power of the federal or the national to make to have jurisdiction on the issues of game of chance. So today, the Apex Court held that the National Lottery Commission does not have the power to regulate the commission. We'll be telling you more after we serve you your political roundup stories.
President Bola Tinubu has stated that his administration's renewed focus in driving international and local investments into the livestock sector of the agricultural value chain will end the crisis of farmer-herder clashes, eradicate hunger and poverty in Nigeria, as well as promote economic prosperity. President Tinubu said this in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the signing of a letter of intent between the Nigerian government and the JBS-SA, one of the top 3 largest meat processing companies globally. Justice Ekerete Akpan of the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered that the 109 foreigners linked to high-profile cybercrimes, hacking, and activities threatening national security be remanded in Kuje and Suleja correctional facilities until the next adjourned date. Justice Akpan made the order based on a request by the counsel to the defendants on grounds that the police facility where they're being kept wasn't conducive for the number of suspects. The suspect's arraignment was also stalled due to issues of misinterpretation of names of the suspects on the charge sheet and also issues of counsel representation. The Kingsley Oga faction of the African Democratic Congress has filed a fresh case before Justice Omotosho of the Abuja Federal High Court, asking the court to restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from recognizing any merger talks with any political party pending the determination of who the authentic chairman is by the Supreme Court. Both parties have been at loggerheads since 2022, forcing a faction of the ADC led by Kingsley Oga, who at that time was the chairman of the Forum of ADC Chairmen, to approach a court challenging the legality of Ralph Nwosu's continued stay in office. The Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy has kicked off a nationwide consultation process towards the passing of the National Digital Economy and E-Governance Bill into law. The sponsors of the bill, which is currently at stakeholders engagement stage, believe that when passed into law, it will enhance the use of digital technology to support the growth and transformation of Nigeria's economy through the application of technology in the digital ecosystem.
Thank you so much, everyone. There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. I was telling you earlier about the position of the Supreme Court. There are 2 major decisions that are coming out of the Supreme Court today. One is in respect of the National Lottery Act of 2005, which was enacted by the National Assembly on the grounds that the Supreme Court had nullified that on the grounds that it was made in violation of the powers donated by the Constitution to the federal legislature. In a unanimous judgment, a 7-member panel of the Apex Court held that the National Assembly lacked the powers to legislate on issues relating to lottery and games of chance. The court held that such powers only reside with the Houses of Assembly, which possesses exclusive jurisdiction over lottery and related issues. Also, the Supreme Court rejected and struck out a suit by the 36 states government seeking to, among others, compel the federal government to account for its earnings from the sale of liquefied natural gas liquids and related products since 1999. I'm being joined tonight. My first guest on the program is a member of the House of Representatives, one of the sponsors, the lead sponsors of the 6-year single-term tenure for presidents and governors. They are of the opinion that when that happens, it will allow effectiveness of governance in the country and also the division of the country into 6 geopolitical zones. That bill failed to sail through the second reading. And tonight I'm being joined by Honorable Ugo Chinyere, Ikenga Ugo Chinyere. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us tonight. I'm reading now that you are not backing down. You are hoping to push ahead to represent that matter. But it doesn't look that you can represent that bill in this present or the ongoing constitutional amendment process. Can you?
I say that after exhausting all the legislative timeline, it will be represented. That is on the floor at the next legislative session. But secondly, we also say that we have compiled that submission also, and by God's grace, tomorrow on Monday, we'll be submitting it to the Constitutional Amendment Committee. So that is why I say that hope is still alive, and that is a temporary setback, and that the struggle to have the 6-year single term rotation of power between North and South, and then the governorship seat, and our election in one day is still on.
33 of you, I understand, presented or sponsored that bill, but it doesn't look like it got a popular vote amongst your colleagues. Why did you think they shut it down at the second reading?
Well, I think in parliamentary business, there must be yes and no. There's nothing extraordinary about it. And people have different views about some of these issues. It's not the first time the CCS single proposal is coming up. But like I said before, more consultation will be carried out. It will be represented to convince members to see more reason from our own angle. And we're also very hopeful that at the Constitutional Amendment Committee, it will say to some people said most of the issues that were joined together brought more pressure on the bill. Some people disagree with the 6-year single term. Some were not comfortable with rotation of power and so on and so forth. So most members of the view that issues should be separated and submitted as single issues. So I can tell you that it will still stay through.
But I mean, what do you think if you are to readjust or review or amend the bill for representation? What in your mind do you think is politically hindering the bill or giving fears, creating fears in the minds of some of your colleagues?
Well, I think I do not want to get to the point of saying our members are progressive, they are passionate about change in the country and constitutional reforms. And I can tell you that the bill was not debated for most members to also see reasons why this proposal is timely. But at the same time, I can tell you that some people don't like the single-term presidency. Some want power to rotate between North and South. Some are not comfortable with the election in one day. It's something that is different. But like I said before, more consultation will be carried out to be able to bring everybody on board. It's not a problem.
With what you have seen, right, there are those who think that you didn't play enough politics of lobbying your colleagues into acceding to your proposal. Are you rethinking your strategies now?
The lobbying, but like I said, we're 34 of us already who are pushing the proposal, and we reached out. And like I said, we're still going to reach out. We'll notice some things that were not done right, and we're going to correct it.
I mean, with the benefit of hindsight now, are you thinking of unbundling that bill because it has too many layers in it, has too many components? Are you thinking of unbundling it?
I just said that we're going to unbundle. The small people felt it was heavy on them to deal with the issue of power rotation between North and South, to deal with the issue of all elections in one day, to deal with the issue of 6-year single term. Some people want to even run for governorship in their state, and they feel rotating the governorship seat in my hand. So there's a lot of issues that brought a lot of pressure on the bill. And because of that, we're going to unbundle, like we just asked, and then take a single and it will serve.
Honorable, what in your mind do you think is a significance of that bill? How important do you think it could bring a change to Nigeria?
Well, like I said before, advancing and deepening our constitutional democracy and governance is key to bringing stability, all inclusion, politics, and justice. First of all, if you have all election in one day, it will bring a large turnout of voters. It's going to reduce the cost of conducting elections, and it's going to clean up the accreditation process. For instance, the same accreditation you use in announcing the State House of Assembly on the day of all election in one day is the same accreditation for the presidential and governorship. So in the evening, the accreditation figures cannot change because it has already been used to announce the House of Assembly and other elections, and it's going to reduce costs. And if we rotate power between North and South, and also rotate power among the senatorial zone, it will help to bring so much inclusion, and it's going to de-escalate tension and bring stability. And when you go for 6 years single term, a leader that has 6 years uninterrupted timeline can be able to embark on sustainable development program that can enhance the welfare of their people. Instead of so much energy we are not spending in re-election. Short, what leaders have now to perform is just 2 years, because 2 years into your tenure now, everybody's warming up to say, I'm going to challenge you and not to challenge you. And government decision is not guided by the quest to win a second term. And I think having a 6 year single term will give a long term for sustainable development to be in place. So the most important thing here is the issue of inclusion, justice, equity, and transition stability. Let's go past it. This is almost going to 100 years of existence, and we're still battling on issues of transition stability, credible elections, inclusive election, and so on and so forth. We should be talking about advanced development issues. That's why let's resolve these issues, and then we can be able to jumpstart other issues that will help in making the Nigerian state move forward.
Let's move quickly to other issues that I know that are of significance and perhaps issues that you can also relate with. One of it is the arrest of Simon Ekpa. Let me get your view on that process that is going on in Finland, and one man that his thoughts and his interventions and cyberspace activity is said to have allegedly caused a lot of tension in the Southeast region, which you represent in the National Assembly. How do you view that arrest, the arrest of Simon Ekpa?
On the issue, we're trying to get all the details we need from Finland. So as a matter of fact, we're on Zoom meeting with some of our lawyers to get all the needed details and the offenses and so on and so forth. And as a matter of fact, I'll be speaking on Sunday right from here, and these are the issues I will talk about. So because of that, I will not want to preempt what will be the decision of the opposition coalition pertaining to that. They will give me that mandate, and I'll be speaking on Sunday on that.
I mean, what is the position of some of you in this regard? Are you in support of some of the agitation that Simon Ekpa represents?
And that's why I said that every comment on this issue will be made on Sunday, so that I will be in line with the decision of the members of the coalition.
There are understanding now that the federal government of Nigeria has attributed the arrest of Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed prime minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, to sustain diplomatic pressure on Finland by Nigeria. Do you reckon that some of the unrest that we seeing in the Southeast has been fueled by Simon Ekpa?
You're very smart. You always have a way of trying to go back to the same issue that I have also told you, that my statement will be guided by the general decision of the coalition, which is meeting tonight, and I'll be speaking live on Sunday. So anything I say now, one word or the other, preempt what I'll be saying on Sunday. So
without prejudice to what you and your colleagues might be talking about on Sunday. But the extradition matter, as a lawyer and a lawmaker, would you say that it would be fair to bring him here to Nigeria to answer to some of these allegations?
These are things you should wait on Sunday when I speak, so that they can get all the full details. Any comment I make, I need to be preempting a decision that have not been made.
All right. Let me not get you out of what you don't want to say until Sunday. But let me get you to Rivers State. I know that a lot of the times you have given your intervention on what has happened in Rivers State. There was a judgment from the appellate court, from the appeal court, in Abuja division against the decision of Justice Lifo on the Rivers matter in respect of the local government elections, which barred the INEC and security agencies from their participation or releasing documents for that election. But I mean, let me get your reaction first and foremost. You are one that has spoken so loudly about it. A lot of people have questioned, what is the interest of Ugo Chinyere about Rivers matter? But now that the appellate court has given a decision that seems to have suited your own, I mean, may have satisfied you in one way, how do you react to it?
First of all, there's nothing personal about this. It's about our constitutional democracy and the right thing being done at all times. We speak on issues across every part of the country. It's not nothing so special about River State. The most important thing here is that the issues that were ruled on by the first court of first instance by the appeal court have decided that these issues were murky. Those decisions were murky and they were made out of jurisdiction. If you look at their decision on issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, in particular issue 5, where the court imported a prayer that was not asked by the plaintiff. And the appeal court said, yes, even though the court has power, jurisdiction, to raise a matter suo motu, but it doesn't have jurisdiction to resolve his suo motu without hearing and giving adequate time to the other parties. They struck down Section 60 of the River State Independent Electoral RESEC law on the issue of the fact that no court can stop the conduct of an election. That was not one of the prayers by the plaintiff, but the court of first instance was so generous, like Father Christmas, to even import that and then took a decision. And because if you look at the case of TV, the case of APC versus Udom 2023 by the Supreme Court, that you cannot do that. And again, talks about the issue of jurisdiction, that the issues they were asking for are issues that the Federal High Court have no jurisdiction. And also the Supreme Court have decided that over time, Ejialo versus Imo State Governor, Osun State Independent Electoral Commission versus Timothy and so on and so forth, that even though that there's federal agencies involved, that does not automatically confer jurisdiction on the Federal High Court. That what is the subject matter? Conduct of a local government election that is under the jurisdiction of the River State Independent Electoral Commission and supposed to be handled by the State High Court. That why did you not dabble into? So based on that, they said the case in its entirety lacked merit and decided to dismiss it. So the most important thing that it doesn't even call for like celebration, because to me, doing the right thing most times, I don't say it calls for celebration, because ordinarily the Federal High Court should have known that what they were doing was wrong. So yes, this is victory for democracy, it's victory for constitutional governance, but for this fact to have been restated, it has already been restated by the Supreme Court over and over again. So why do somebody have to keep doing that? Just maybe you do it and then hope that it can be upheld by the appeal court or the Supreme Court. So to me, it's a good decision. It has helped to also deepen our constitutional democracy. But at the same time, we must not continue to keep going back to the court to keep seeking interpretation on issues that Supreme Court over and over have also decided.
Well, Honorable, Justice Lifu, in his judgment at the trial court, established that there are processes in an election, one of which includes the fact that there is supposed to be election in itself is not an end. I mean, a means to an end. It's a process, a gamut of activities leading to the voting day. I mean, the court established in that judgment and the High Court that, look, you should have published. There are days specified by law for you to have published the names of voters. There are other issues relating to the revision of voter register, which was not done by RCEC. And these are established principles about our elections, which RCEC has failed to establish.
Well, they went and imported all the provisions of the Electoral Act, and they were talking about that Section 9 and so on and so forth. But the appeal court said that not everything that is in the Electoral Act, if you go by the division of elections under Section 152 of that Act, that is covered, that the local government election is not among those elections, that those sections and processes they are talking about. So we have to revert to the sections in the River State Independent Electoral Commission Act, which made provisions for publication. So the method of publication and advertising for the elections and the candidate and the nomination under the RESEC law is different from the provisions under the Electoral Act they were talking about. And also, more importantly, that voter registration did not stop 30 days to the conduct of that election. And then when you talk about it did not stop, they didn't produce any evidence to show there was even an ongoing voter registration exercise by INEC. So the most important thing is that these people, when they went to this court, wasn't after deepening our constitutional governance. It was not about stop Governor Fubara from conducting the local government election. If you remember, one of the conditions during the presidential initiative that Tinubu initiated was that they feared that the governor would not do election, that they wanted the election. and they made the governor to sign that there will be election. So at the moment we are nearing election, they extended the tenure of the local government chairman whose tenure have expired, that they should remain in office forever. And then they said no, that let there be an election. And then when we now got to the election, they now went to court and then got an order again and said there should be no election. So you can, even when after the election, when the people were about to be sworn in again, they went again, started burning down the local government election that they should not be sworn in. So the whole issue, I have to be honest with you because I don't know how to waste time over an issue, is the fact that the Pro-Wike group does not want a local government election that will come from the governor Fubara-led leadership. That was what it's all about. That's what led us to, okay, if we go by the interpretation in what they were seeking at the Federal High Court, there will be no local government election again in Nigeria, because people will not say for you to have local government election, INEC must continue to do continuous voter registration process, there must be this one. So, all these things were just like...
But Honorable, are you not concerned that the exercise or the process is already skewed when the umpire failed to comply with his own rules and the guidelines and the laws that guide the operation of such a commission?
The procedure, that's what I'm saying. They are the one lying with all the applications that are filing. The provision of the RISEC law on the issue of publishing the notice, publishing the candidate list, we have followed. Most political parties that participated had that notice. Those notices were there. And they were the one who admitted that the notice was published, but it's not complete. And in one point, they are saying the notice was published, but it was not up to 90 days or 300 days. On another one, they said there was no notice. So the most important thing is that if they had participated in that election, they would have seen the notice, they would have seen those processes complete. But they refused to participate in that election. And while that election was about to hold, they said the election will not hold. The key thing here is that they never wanted this election to hold, just because you are having issues with the government.
So now let's establish there are possibilities that this case might be taken up to the Supreme Court. And there are possibilities also that those who are being injured by the outcome of this election might find solace and find healing at the apex court, isn't it? Do you have that fear?
Of course, most of them are professional litigants. Even when they don't have any cause for case, they want to file a case because they have almost 80 cases now. So I will not be surprised if they go to Supreme Court. But what I ask is that Supreme Court should give you an order that the court can stop election. The very moment Supreme Court does that, as we head to 2027, there will be multiple applications. State Assembly election will be stopped, presidential will be stopped under one excuse or the other. So the framers of our law knows that politicians most times are anarchists, that if you allow them have that opportunity, each other at the point of announcement of the law, there will be injunctions to stop it, just like what happened during the Abiola and Humphrey Nwosu days, that threw the country into a serious constitutional crisis. Yes, they will go to appeal. It's within their powers to go to appeal. But I can tell you, as a good observer of political development in the country, there's no court in the land that will create a template that will allow politicians to stop elections under one excuse or the other.
Honorable, I see that you are very happy. It does look like Sim Fubara has won, APP has won, Wike has lost, APC has lost, and it does look like PDP lost in this case. Well, somehow PDP, one leg of the PDP has lost. That does appear to look like the situation right now in Rivers State, isn't it?
I don't want you to make it a personal issue of APP have won, Fubara won. No, I think the Constitution won. The democratic principle have been re-established, and it's not yet victory because those anti-democratic forces are still knocking around the corner. Is it that one moment they want the election not to hold at all, or they want allocation of a state to be seized, to throw the state into a state of economic crisis, or they want those who are no longer lawmakers who have decamped, and I saw them on your TV station the day they were decamping, to be reinstated so that they can make an attempt to illegally attempt to impeach a governor. So it's not yet Uhuru, because there are people whose heart does not like stability, they like confusion. So it's not yet over.
Honorable, the reason why I asked that question is that you particularly, always, you have not made it a secret, and you have always looked like you have a ground to grind with Nyesom Wike, the minister of the FCT. And it does look like, as far as you're concerned, you think that is a problem of the PDP and Rivers State. With what has happened, and those of you, there are those who think that there are those on the other side who have their way with the courtroom, but it does look at the appeal court judgment had ruled in a way that has dismissed or messed up that particular narrative, that no one has the power of our courts.
But that is what we're hoping and praying for. And there's nothing personal about it because I don't have the same line of business with him and I don't have the same kind of ambition with him. So I don't have any issue that warrants me to have any personal issue. He's the one that, of course, he was on your station the other time. He was live on your station. I saw where he called me a crab, a shaker or something. I saw the other day he said he doesn't know me. I saw the other day he said he knows me. So each time he says he has one thing or the other to say, but I cannot go down to that level to start saying all those things because my father raised me very well on these issues. But let's remain on the issues. The most important thing is that the way PDP is going, which you can attest to, and the role he's playing in staying in APC, doing APC work, and insisting on ensuring that the leadership of the party must remain, even though they have no legal status to remain in office, all points to the fact that he just wants to destroy PDP. It's not like it's the problem of PDP. The people I blame is some of the governors of PDP and some of PDP leaders who have not been able to be man enough to stand up to stop this child. It's kindergarten politics. It's children's play to stop it, because I don't understand why you have a national chairman of a party and a national secretary of a party who seems to be in bed with the ruling government, and people seems to be comfortable with that and are filing cases in court to keep themselves in office. And then the man you mentioned is them and his G5 people will tell you that they're working for APC while at the same time still struggling for control of PDP with us. Do you think that is decent? Is that how democracy was built in Nigeria? If Azikiwe them and Awolowo them were alive, we saw people who are running around like clowns now be running in midst of conversation if Awolowo them were alive. So this standard is low. I don't know where they're learning from. As a student of history, it's disgusting. It makes me feel like I want to throw. Because what are we struggling over in PDP? What are we fighting over in PDP? That the almighty PDP that once had 32 states have been reduced to something that that people are playing with and struggling. I'm in another party, I'm working for another party, but I'm telling you that this party, I must control it. And leaders of the party are treating it with kids gloves. Some governors, because they have been offered one thing or the other, or maybe they have been told that if you follow them to sabotage PDP, you choose your successor, you win your re-election, and you cannot boldly stand up to say, stop this nonsense, stop this madness, and let the right Nigerians, we are looking up to PDP. We're not to lose confidence in PDP. The mess is too much.
Honorable, before I allow you go, I mean, Segun Showumi was here the other day, and I was surprised. He was blaming President Bola Tinubu for the problem of the PDP. And he was saying that he is a hand that is distorting and disrupting the People's Democratic Party. Well, a lot of people will wonder what has Tinubu has to do with what is happening in another person's house. But my final question to you right now will be, there is still problem with River State, because it does not look like the funds accrued to the River State will go to them because of the umbrage over these local government issues. Are you worried about the coming days with Sim Fubara and his government over federal allocation?
No, I'm not worried, because when I saw the thing you are referring to, the matter have been challenged, courts have had it, and judgment have been reserved. I have never seen where there will be a judgment that is being appealed and judgment is being awaited and somebody wants to enforce it. I don't think federal government will want to take that part. That can only happen in Nkurunziza's Burundi. So I don't think federal government will do that, because the matter have been appealed and judgment have been reserved. So why are you rushing to want to seize allocation? And most importantly, allocation is like a symbol of federation. It is different from budget. Budget comes after you have received the allocation, it drops in your state, the state assembly starts budgeting. But when you want to go and seize the allocation, it's like you're seizing the symbol of constitutional democracy and federation. That thing is statutory revenue of that. Okay, what happens to if there's irrevocable payment or that tied to that money that has to do with bank or foreign lending institution? What happens to other obligations? What happens to statutory transfers of the state? What will happen to the judiciary? What will happen to teacher salary? So the Wike group will be so proud to go to Abuja, seize the allocation of that state, and there will be no salary, there will be no payment, there will be no obligation. I don't think federal government will, because if federal government goes towards that part, they'll be pitching themselves with the people of River who are part of the federating unit. I don't think any government will do that. We will need to wait for the matter to be decided or to Supreme Court before we can now start having this conversation.
Honorable Ugo Chinyere, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, if those who blame Bola Tinubu for the problem of the PDP, would you also blame him for the problem in the APC? We'll be finding out whether or not the disquiet that you see in the APC, is it Bola Tinubu's fault? If it's his fault, what is the way out? After this break, everyone. Join us again. Those who are blaming President Bola Tinubu for the problem in the PDP, that's People Democratic Party, the main opposition party in Nigeria. Those are also very aggrieved with what is happening in the APC in terms of the appointment and the ongoings in the party. I'm being joined by Honorable Klatus Auburn, a member of the APC. He's live with us right here in Abuja City. Thanks so much, Honorable. It's good to see you tonight on the program. They blame President Bola Tinubu for the problem in the PDP. There are those who are also blaming him about some of his appointments. Do you feel that there are things that have been done wrongly in your party that the president is responsible for?
Well, there are two things you must have to put in perspective. President Tinubu is different from the presidency. There are two institutions. One at the individual level in which he has to take full responsibility for the irresponsibility of even his own aides and those he had sent on errands, because everybody acting as minister, as DG, as everything, acts on behalf of the president. So he takes what the lawyers might call vicarious responsibility for the irresponsibility of such agents. But that is itself the hallmark and the crux of the matter with leadership. So if you talk about him being responsible for what is happening in APC and PDP, it is only right that he must accept responsibility, whatever it is. But for PDP to turn around and claim that a party that had been in power for 16 years and still have sitting governors and the magnanimity, the political sagacity of an Asiwaju Bola Tinubu brings in even their members into government. I will tell you something shocking this evening. People are just looking at Wike is in PDP and is in this government. You all forgot that the owner of Bayes University was the running mate. Dati, Ahmed Dati is the owner of Bayes University. His vice chancellor was brought from that university to become minister for education. People don't seem to notice that. There are people sitting in this government who have never participated in politics before. What Asiwaju has done is to bring what he perceives to be the best. And since the buck stops on his table, he's taking responsibility for those who are performing and those who are not performing. As for PDP, Labour Party, you just read the case of ADC about leadership. All of them are falling into it because they are not an organized opposition. I will be a very sad person.
Is your party organized?
So organized that on and off the field, during and after elections, APC has shown that it is an organic whole.
So organized that you are unable to produce or organize a NEC meeting against the position of your constitution. That's how organized your party is.
Let me inform you about this. What you don't know about our party and all constitutions, not just APC constitution, when it empowers you to take an act, it also gives you the opportunity and the leeway to also adjust to the situation. So when you don't hold a NEC meeting, what is the proviso? There's a proviso. Go and read that section of the constitution. When it says you must hold at least once in a quarter or once in a year or twice in a year, it also tells you that the National Working Committee takes decisions on behalf, because it works on a daily basis. If you go and check the section of our constitution, it empowers the NWC.
You are quoting your constitution wrongly.
No, please.
Your constitution, just a moment. My assistant.
Yes, I know the section you're talking about.
The section of your party's constitution that talks about you organizing a NEC meeting says the NEC meeting shall be held once every quarter. It's different from the provision of your constitution where it says that the NWC will act on behalf of the party and take decision in the interest of the party. It's totally different.
You cannot read it exclusively.
Because there are different positions. There is a breach. And the earlier your party sees that there is a problem with your political party, and the fact that the media is supposed to hold political institutions and government accountable is the fact that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Your party cannot say that not conducting a NEC meeting as against the position of your party is right. It's blatant breach of your own constitution.
Let me say this to you.
Yeah.
You make the error of constantly disjunctively reading laws. You cannot, and don't know anywhere on earth where you pick the first page and take it off context to the next section. That is not even the issue here. The question about holding parties accountable, I am one of those. I came from the opposition, so I know and I do that. Today, as I speak to you, there are issues, not just in my state, but also in my local government. In those issues, we are aware that some political migrants that have infiltrated, who are not used to laws. I remember a senator who joined the party in 2017 in a meeting of the local government center, telling us that he had been a federal house member twice for 8 years, was in the Senate for 4 years, was in the assembly, that he has not cited the party, the constitution of PDP. But that here, his ward chairman cites every section of the constitution to him.
So I will not allow you to mislead my viewers on this program on the position of your constitution. I'd like my assistant to bring your party constitution.
We are not disagreeing on that.
Your party is in breach of your constitution.
No.
Do not lump and gaslight our viewers tonight. Your party should realize, and I'm putting to you as a member of your party, that there is a breach. You are supposed to have conducted your NEC meeting. You have failed to do so. That is the problem of your party. And I'm asking you, how do you resolve such a problem that is blatantly causing problem within your party?
Now, let me ask you this, and let me also answer you straight away. When you say I am, first of all, I have maintained that until, in any case, how can a party that is in the condition you are painting it proceed to win 2 off-cycle elections without a NEC meeting? How do we meet? How do we even send people for campaigns?
Because
how do we form committees? How do we form our committees?
Right.
Under what how do you form your committees? One person.
So you're justifying not constituting or not conducting a NEC meeting as okay.
I'm saying that it is all right with the party because the intent of a NEC meeting is to organize the party to carry out. Because after elections, you are supposed to monitor those you elect into office. That's one of the functions of the party. Now, the next thing to do also is to organize the party in terms of recruitment of parties and political education. All those are outlining the objectives of the party. What we are saying here is that in what way has the non-holding of NEC meeting injured the party? What injury has been occasioned by that fact?
Okay, it's unfortunate that you don't see the problem within your party, but you see the one in other political party. But it's good to remove the speck in your eye.
The self-affliction.
But the problem is that is it a strategy for those who are accusing President Bola Tinubu that is disrupting? They're accusing him of disrupting the PDP structure. Is it a political strategy not to destabilize a main opposition party ahead of a general election? Is that the idea here?
If PDP comes out to say so, it's the worst political confession to ever make. Because you are saying to your opponent, I am a southpaw as a boxer. I use my left hand to box. And you are saying we are going into the ring. In this ring today, nobody should use his left hand because you know that is where my strength is. So if you are saying that we are able to infiltrate PDP and destabilize them, it is part of our duty to do so, just like it is part of their duty to ensure that APC is destabilized. It is part of the duty of other political parties to do so. The destabilization, as long as it is not disruptive to become violent, it is a good weapon to use.
Why? It does look like a lot of people are aggrieved about some appointments in your party. And you say that it's a strategy by the president to bring people from other interests. But is causing some kind of disquiet in your party.
Great.
Are you worried about that?
Very worried. Let me tell you why. But I don't agree of recent when I say there are some persons who participated directly in the emergence of a Tinubu presidency. There are others who may not even participate, may not even have shown their finger, but sponsored and funded the party at different levels. Such persons have interest to protect. But it is the most disheartening is that where you have capable hands within the party, qualified hands within the party, it is unfortunate and it is vexatious, it is preposterous that those who contribute and are competent should not be given opportunity to make input and add value to the system. But if you have a man who can add value to the system and is brought in, the kind of sibling contestation that takes place is allowed, but it shouldn't in any way vitiate the decision of the president. I'll give you a perfect example now. Only recently, my friend Daniel Bwala was appointed into the media team of the president. A lot of aura. My friends like Jesu Tega, a few of them, I can name names. The reason because I'm part of that. I am a founding member, so it pains me if anything is going to disrupt the party. It is vexatious, and they have a right to anger. But that anger should not make the president shift his ground if he knows that the person he's bringing would add value to the system. The mere fact that we have not been in any way compensated, because I can tell you, you can ask yourself, when we were in the campaigns, we had the campaign committee that is still on till today, and some of them, I said, we're asking ourselves, are they so incompetent they cannot be appointed? But we also ask ourselves, will a Bwala ordinarily, by his own value, not add value to any system? Those are the issues. The moral issue of whether he campaigned for or against us, don't forget that he also campaigned for Aswadu to become a candidate. He only left at the point of the main election. Thereafter, he has done a detour. That becomes a moral burden on him. But as for his competence, gentlemen, let us tell ourselves that truth.
The argument, and those who think that the president does not respect a reward system, for those who actively worked with him, is that a situation or is just a strategy, the same way I asked earlier?
It can never be a strategy. If it's a strategy, it's a wrong strategy, not to reward your foot soldiers, not to reward your own allies. It is a wrong strategy because it will definitely boomerang.
There are those who think it's a mafioso technique for you to bring your enemies closer.
No, that mafioso technique in a third world country, in an emerging democracy, in a constitutional democracy of this nature is too brazen and affront on the loyalty.
Is it tearing your party apart?
It is not and cannot. It can only raise eyebrows. What you are seeing here are genuine agitations, because there must be tendencies within an organization of this nature, especially of a political and partisan nature, such as we have now. There must be. If they are not, it is unusual.
Is there a reward system in your party?
The reward system is very poor. It is, but it is very poor. I have said this on your program before, that APC has the worst reward system under Buhari, and today we are seeing the repeat, because we believe that we have competence, we have people here. Our reward system is very poor, because a man walks like an elephant and eats like an ant. That is not correct. It's not a good reward system.
More outsiders are benefiting from the system.
I can tell you that. Look at Cross River, for example. It was the only APC state in South Nigeria. And thereafter, it got 2 ministers. Less than a year after, we are only having a minister of state. Does that show a good reward system? Is that how to reward a governor like Cross River, who has been made chairman of all the up-cycle elections and has delivered on all?
Did you deliver your state for the president?
Yes, we got 38% instead of 25. We are looking for 25. We got 38 for the first time, for the second time in our history.
As an
under APC.
Outright win, or you just got a percentage of votes for him?
Yes, we got good votes for him.
But you did not win for him.
We win. What else do you call winning? If you have 25, you need 25, but if you don't get 25%, will you win? Will you count Cross River? Or will you count Cross River one of the 36 states you got 2/3? It must be. That is the contribution we are talking about. Those who couldn't make 25%, there are certain appointments that have been made here, and we are telling you.
So would you say that the president is treading on a dangerous political path?
I am sure that he has enough time to retrace his steps on this matter, because certain attempts are being made to mislead him into thinking that those who he used in 2020 may not be useful to him in 2027. That is a wrong-headed, suicidal political mission to ever attempt.
So 2027 is going to be a disaster if it goes in this direction.
If this direction of not rewarding those who worked, even their prayers alone will affect him. Yes, even their prayers alone, just need to say.
And the law of karma might just naturally.
Karma is real. Karma is real, but I see that this president, I must tell you and give this to him. In the last 1 year, on 3 separate occasions, we had to confront him on this matter of wrong appointment, and he had reversed himself. I can give you 3 classic examples. The first one was Niger Delta, Ogun State, and Cross River were affected. We screamed, Blue Mother, that our opponents were being given those positions.
And the River Basin appointment, he reversed this.
He reversed it. Then it came to the issue of the board of governing councils. We raised it here, and he reversed himself. So this president listens. That is the high point for him, and I think
those who see that as a flip-flop.
No.
And it doesn't look like there are those who are around him. They are embarrassing the president. That's how they're describing it.
No, if you see a gap, I mean, imagine your own family of 3 children and a wife, and they walk into your kitchen and pick biscuits and pick all kinds of things, and you say, where were you as a father? You won't go to farm, you won't go to work, you say that to watch children going to pick biscuits from the cupboard. I think that Nigeria and the country is far too large to be calling the governors, the government, and especially the president's firmness and fairness and listening ear and take it for weakness.
How can the president reverse this? How can he fix it, actually?
I have told you what to do. First, the party must be involved, because there are certain people in the party around him who participated with us throughout the campaigns, and therefore they know each state who to contact. In states where you have the governors, they should be brought in. There is no way you can have a governor who does not know what is happening in his state and who should be where. Because one of the best hands for Nigeria and the best hands in the states. You cannot continue to lump people down and then shut them down, and then at the end of it, you expect them to come and perform magic on election day. It's not all about election. It's also about performance.
It doesn't look like you are happy too. Honorable Cletus Obon, thank you so much indeed.
God bless Nigeria, and may the soul of Dr. Joseph Boyah, the late Senate President, please rest in peace. I am very sad on that count because we are burying him next week. Tomorrow we are going for the church service. I would like that Nigerians should pray for the repose of his soul and come to celebrate him at Calabar Stadium on the 28th, Wednesday next week.
You're doing an advertisement. We love Joseph Boyah, and our heart goes out to the late Senate President. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. I'm Sean Kimaloe. God bless Nigeria.